Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on ailments, continuing with infections, infestations, and the immune system, starting with the letter C2. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Please refer to my How to Use Homeopathic Remedies video before using the material in this video. I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on specific ailments, but I've broken these ailments into categories for easier reference. I'll begin with ailments of the mind and emotions, then move on to ailments of the brain and nervous system, then I'll address issues with your skin, nails, hair, eyes, ears, nose, teeth, gums, lungs, respiration, heart, blood circulation, muscles, bones, joints, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small and large intestine, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidney, bladder, then ailments specific to women and specific to men, then issues of the hormones and the metabolism, then issues of infection, infestations, the immune system, issues surrounding fertility and pregnancy, childbirth, postnatal problems, special problems of infants, ailments and diseases in childhood, and special issues of adolescence, and finally, special issues of the elderly. Constitutional treatment involves treating the totality of the individual person. Everyone is a unique individual with a unique physiology that responds to substances differently. In homeopathy, it's recognized that people will react strongly to certain remedies, and as a result of this, they can be loosely placed into different categories called constitutional types. Homeopaths talk of, for example, phosphoric types. These are people who react strongly to phosphorus, or arsenicum album types, those who react strongly to arsenicum album. The belief is that people of one type share similarities of terms of body shape, character, and personality, and the sorts of diseases from which they suffer. As an example, nature mirror people tend to be pear-shaped, have a dark complexion, be fastidious and rigid in personality, and keep themselves to themselves. They also crave salt and suffer from constipation. As another example, lycopodium types tend to be tall, ganglion, of a stooped appearance, with an anxious expression and a craving for sweets and a propensity to produce intestinal gas. Now, of course, constitutional types have their limitations. In reality, each person is an individual, and so there are as many constitutional types as there are human beings. An account must be taken of the sum total of the person's inherent predispositions, past illnesses, diet, general reactions to the environment, intellectual and emotional features, and general attitude towards life. This is what is meant by constitutional treatment. I'll be making detailed videos of the various constitutional types after I've completed the use of homeopathic remedies on ailments. The ideas, procedures, and suggestions in this video and all my homeopathic videos are not intended as a substitute for the medical advice of a trained health professional. Consult your physician before adopting the suggestions in this video. If you're pregnant, do not attempt these techniques without the approval of your physician. So, let us continue with learning how homeopathic treatments can help with infections, infestation, and the immune system, starting with the letter C, Part 2. Infections are an almost daily occurrence, but if we are healthy, our immune systems deal with them before we notice any symptoms. Most microorganisms enter the body through the nose and mouth, in the air, in our food, sometimes on dirty fingers. Some enter through cuts and abrasions, while others invade the urinary or reproductive tract through the urethra or vagina. Many of the microorganisms with which we share this planet are harmless. Some permanently inhabit the inside and outside of the human body. A few even produce substances useful to it and prevent harmful bacteria from finding a foothold. This is true of certain bacteria in the large intestine and vagina. Some bacteria are harmless in one part of the body, but damaging in others. This is true of E. coli, which is benign while it is in the colon or rectum, but harmful if it is transferred to the urethra, vagina, or mouth. Each kind of microorganism, whether it is a bacterium, virus, fungus, or blood parasite, carries special chemical markers known as antigens. Some strains of lymphocyte, which is a kind of white blood cell produced in the lymph nodes, spleen, bone marrow, adenoids, tonsils, and the wall of the gut, recognize antigens and stimulate other lymphocytes to produce proteins called antibodies, which then disable the carrier organism. Other lymphocytes directly attack and destroy the invading organism. For about 6 months after birth, babies are protected by their mother's antibodies. After that, the immune system is sufficiently mature to start manufacturing its own. Homeopathic immunization does not involve introducing live or dead viruses or antibodies into the body. Instead, remedies are prepared from diseased tissue or secretions using the traditional dilution and succession method. Like other homeopathic remedies, they contain in highly potent form the essence of the source material used. In this case, the essence of the disease organism and its toxins. The body reacts to such remedies known as nosodes by sharpening its immune response. The production of antibodies in response to antigens, the so-called immune response, is not the body's only line of defense. The body's first line troubleshooters are neutrophils and macrophages, which are two kinds of white blood cells that constantly patrol the bloodstream and tissue fluids and respond immediately to the chemical and thermal signals sent out by tissues when they become inflamed. If the inflammation is suppressed, white cell activity is impaired. Neutrophils and macrophages gobble up and digest offending microbes, foreign particles, and other noxious elements. The resulting pus is a mixture of necrotic tissue, dead bacteria, and dying white blood cells. Infections can be treated by killing the germs that cause them, or by helping the immune system deal with them, or both, depending on general health and the virulence of the infection. Traditional antibiotics can deal with bacteria, but not viruses. After a course of antibiotics, live yogurt or kefir eaten daily for at least 5 days helps to repopulate the gut with the beneficial bacteria that the antibiotics have killed, along with the harmful bacteria that was their main target. Homeopathic remedies, improved nutrition, fresh air, exercise, and rest can restore the coping ability of the immune system. In some cases, homeopathic remedies and antibiotics used together may be necessary. Constitutional homeopathic treatment is always advisable after serious infections. Occasionally, as the result of aging or exposure to certain viruses, bacteria, chemicals, and environmental factors, the body loses some of its ability to discriminate between self and non-self, or fails to recognize and destroy its own abnormal cells. The first kind of impairment leads to autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis and systemic lupus. The second leads to cancer. Allergies, distressing reactions to certain drugs, chemicals, foods, and other substances that seem to be tolerated by the majority of people are the downside of having an immune system. Chickenpox. The symptoms of chickenpox infection appear around 7 to 21 days after exposure to the Varicella Zoster virus. The early symptoms of chickenpox are vague and include a headache, tiredness, fever, appetite loss, nausea, and body aches. Following these symptoms, rash and eruptions appear on the skin. The eruptions are fluid-filled vesicles or blisters or pustules, which are pus-filled eruptions. The eruptions break open and ooze the liquid. Afterward, crusts form over the eruptions. At a given time, the blistered eruptions as well as crusted eruptions both may be present simultaneously. The eruptions firstly develop on the face and torso, followed by their spread to other body parts. The eruptions can be severely itchy, but scratching the eruptions should be avoided as it increases the chances of severe skin infection. In severe cases, the eruptions can spread to the eyes, throat, and the mucous membranes or of anal areas and urethra. It usually takes around 7 to 10 days for all the eruptions to heal and get covered with scabs. A person with chickenpox is contagious from 1 to 2 days before the eruptions appear and continue being so until all the eruptions get scabbed over. Chickenpox can lead to complications including pneumonia, dehydration, toxic shock syndrome, encephalitis, and bacterial skin infection. If a pregnant woman gets chickenpox, then certain complications may arise in the baby, including low birth weight, brain damage, shortened limbs, vision problems like cataracts, or life-threatening chickenpox infection. Specific remedies to be taken 4 times daily. For the first inflammatory period of chickenpox, the skin is hot with red skin rash and high fever. The person is highly anxious and restless with an increased thirst for water. Use aconite 6C. For a skin rash with bright red, dry, hot, burning, smooth, and sensitive skin, high fever, rapid pulse, and severe headache, use Belladonna 6C. Itch eruptions with sweating worsening the itch, a burning sensation along with itching, especially after scratching, highly restless and prominent body aches, use Rhus Tox 6C. For rash accompanied by pustules and vesicles, the eruptions are painful, dry up, and get crusted afterward and tend to leave marks on the skin. Pustules tend to leave bluish red marks. Also for slow development of eruptions in chickenpox, use Antimonium tart 6C. For large pustules with profuse pus discharge used during the maturation stage of chickenpox, use Thuja 6C. For large pustules with profuse pus discharge used during the maturation stage of chickenpox, use Merc Sol 6C. For pustules with yellow or brown scruffs that are itchy and get sore upon scratching, the eruptions often give off a shooting pain to pressure with diarrhea, use Antimonium Crudum 6C. For slow development of eruptions and a sudden receding rash, dryness on the skin, and body aches, use Bryonia 6C. Also, you could use the Varicella Zoster Nosode 30C and 200C potency. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.